Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot and welcome to another flight. Today we are taking the PMDG 737-800 from Yoke Airline's beautiful Oslo over to Innibuild's brand new Haugesund, an airport that I've never actually flown to before, so today I'm going to take you through everything that you would do in preparation for flying to a new airport, with the simple difference that we are going to do it on the go in cruise, while in the real world you would obviously look into it at home already. Now, that is easier said than done though. If they do call you from standby, then you might just about have to do something on the go as well. Alright, in any case, let's go ahead and get right into this one and board our beautiful 737. Norwegian livery done by AMD Ryzen, and they have once again done an awesome job over here. And the airplane config is coming straight from PMDG, who has the real-world Norwegian config fully verified. Alright then, so let's go ahead and enter our airplane over here, and we are just about going to start with an airplane that is already powered, since we have taken it over from the early morning shift. So starting with a couple of basics here, the battery is on, external power is on, emergency lights are on. Then let's go ahead and reset that attendant button. Fasten seatbelt sign should be off here. Now let's go ahead and do our fire test. So starting with the in-up detection. And here we go. All that stuff works fine. And on the side as well. Beauty. So with that done, I am straight away going to start my APU, because it is freaking cold over here with a temperature of -1 degree. So, well, here's that. Now transponder should obviously be off at this point, voice recorder on. Then let's go ahead and do the CBR test, which is looking good. Clackers are looking good. Stick shakers are looking good again. The IRS can stay on, and then moving down to the front, APU is coming up, and well, then we can go ahead and start with our light test. So over here it looks like everything is working on the pedestal as well, beauty. So that stuff's done. We can quickly test the autopilot, auto throttle and FMC lights, looking good. Oxygen is good. Alright, so with all of those done, last thing to do here is our glare shield, which is now done as well. And now we can start moving on down in the FMS. So just some basic things: 737-800 with winglets, 26K engine, nav database up to date, at least at the time of this recording on the 19th. IRS is already aligned, so not much to do here. Then we can't just uplink the route yet, because we haven't imported it in the EFB. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So we'll do the route import over here, then let's have a look into what we are actually going to fly. Starting on the significant weather chart, there is, let's see the low level chart please. Departing over here, and we got some icing below level 260. Maybe that's the reason why they plant us in 280 instead of 260 or lower. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. For our airport weather, we have fairly easy conditions. Oslo Gardermoen, variable winds, overcast, -1 degrees, 1026, and our destination Haugesund. Clear skies, beautiful weather, absolutely wonderful. Now Oslo also happens to be our alternate today, so that's easy going. Now looking at the times, we are departing at 12:20, supposed to arrive at 13:15, probably going to be a little bit late, so we might be flying a little bit faster. We'll look into that in a few moments. For the planned fuel, 5.3 is the planned departure fuel. Let's see. We don't have any data for flying faster, so we aren't going to load any fuel for that. So what I'm going to do is 5.3 is the minimum, so let's go with 5.3. So weight and balance, load plane from SimBrief, and on the precise loading, let's take 5,300, like that. Alright, so with all that stuff done, let's go for GSX and request our boarding up here. And while GSX starts doing some hard work, we can check that the APU is on and running for a bit. APU bleed coming on, and then finally let's set those temperature selectors to the 10 o'clock position, because the 737 is just a weird airplane. Look at this, it's still blowing in some 40 degrees, it can go even higher in the real world. So just have a good look out for that. Now before you go out for the walk around, lights are on, let's also put the hydraulic pumps on, and here we go. Alright, nice. Then we can start with our setup down here. So let's go on to data link ATS ATIS, looking for ENGM, Oslo Gardermoen, send that, and then let's head back into the FMS. Here's our route now, so let's go ahead and request that, and while we're waiting for that to arrive, we can check the ATIS, which is information Yankee, runways 1 left and right, wind calm, sky condition overcast 1900, -1, QNH 1025. So let's go ahead and set that 1025, set left, and set on the right hand side. Then we can already set the MFRA, which is going to be, well, 1680 by default plus cold temperature correction, so probably going to be some 1700-ish. Alright, 1700, like that. Then let's send our data over to our colleague's site, like that, and here we go. Alright, beautiful. So that stuff is checked. Tower backup of operation and service may impact service availability. Okay, we'll see about that, and here we go. So let's go ahead and load that route. At the same time, let's move up into the EFB app and prepare our departure charts. So we got the general airport chart and as well as the parking stands. And then for our SID, ATLAB 5 Alpha, which is this one. Alright, so North 9 Bravo Hotel, Oslo to Haugesund, that is looking good. Departure 1 left, ATLAB 5 Alpha, arrival ILS 13, Ulvas 1 uniform, azimuth transition, activate, then cost index 15, reserve fuel 2.9, zero fuel weight 58.4. The plane says flight level 259 is optimum. Well, 280 is planned, so let's select that. Top of climb wind 230 at 35. Outside temperature is ISA -7, so that's going to be -47 degrees. And transition 7001. Now on the SID chart, I think there is a note. Yep, there is. Noise abatement 2 is used during climb out. So let's go ahead and select 1000 feet acceleration and reduction in 1500. Oh, that was the wrong button. Here we go, reduction in 1500. Runway should be dry, so let's select that. On the climb page, 250 below 10,000 is in, and then we can select ENGM with a 25-mile ring for the MSA and the engine out. Alright, good. So let's cross-check that our SID is actually correct. So we're going straight at Golf Mike 436, maximum 230, which we got. Just give me the plan note here. Then it's a left-hand turn, Golf Mike 437, Golf Mike 439, Golf Mike 614, and ATLAB. Alright, initial climb is 70. I think it is. Yep, it is. So let's put that into here as well. And that's all we need for the time being. Great, then let's quickly do our flight deck setup. Not all that much to do today, especially since the airplane is already in a good shape. 5.3, so all the fuel is on board, fast belts are coming on, window heat is on, up there everything's set. What's the temperature doing now? Yeah, it starts coming up here, so let's slowly start putting it up a little bit. That's just something you are constantly dealing with in the 737. Ain't much you can do about it. Alright, boarding is ongoing. I like it. Then up here, runway heading is 008. So let's select that. Climbing to 7,000. So let's put 7,100 in here. And the runway heading 008 is selected. Rest is looking good, so Let's go further down. QNH 1025, like that. Alright, park and brake, set, frequencies. Let's see about it. Let's also grab that airport chart. I thought I had pinned it earlier. Might have misclicked. Here's what we're looking for. So, delivery, west 12168. Which is this one, and then west ground 1210605. Which is this one. So, both of them pre-selected. Then let's have a look at our departure chart. Nothing on there. I'm looking for something I could put into the nav receiver. Oh, looks good. Oslo VOR 1595. Alright, and that stuff is going active. Like that. In here, everything is set. On that side, 121.5 as the international emergency frequency. Then let's also tune 1595 like that. Alright, and with that our airplane is set up. So with all those basics out of the way, let's go ahead and start the departure briefing. So this is going to be a takeoff with no threats. Then let's do a route check. We're going from Echo November Golf Mike to Echo November Hotel Delta, and we are the November Oscar Zulu 9 Bravo Hotel. Our routing is going to be via Atlat 5 Alpha to Atlat, Papa 600 IPMOD, Zulu 280 Ulvos arrival, and that gives us a ground distance of 214 versus 215. Probably not going to get much better than that. Alright, the time UTC is 12:09, altimeter 1025, reading 680, MFRA 1700, flight directors are on, minus the master, standby instruments set. It's a left seat takeoff, runway 1 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure number 2, and for the engine out, sit straight at 25 miles, climbing 5,000. The MSA is 3,900 plus cold temperature correction, giving us approximately 4,300. Left seat takeoff, runway 1 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and for the emergencies, we'll do things exactly as discussed in the crew room. I've got nothing special or non-standard over here. Pushback is going to be most likely with the nose facing to the right-hand side. And then somewhere down here, Golf, perhaps November, perhaps Mike, we'll see, to the full length for our departure. We may be able to calculate Alpha 3 figures, see if that helps. Our departure, Atlab 5 Alpha departure, is complete RNAV departure, left turns out, climbing flight level 70. Any questions or suggestions on our SID? No? Beautiful. Then let's go ahead and request the IFR clearance. For today's ATC, we are using Say Intentions AI, who are kindly also sponsoring this channel. So if you're looking for an ATC add-on, then do check them out if you like what you see in today's video. Latest information, Yankee is on board over here, so let's go for the departure clearance. ATIS Yankee can go in here, ATC center is Oslo, and the stand is 72. Like that, and let's also say good morning. Okay, Oslo Haugesund, North 9 Bravo Hotel, all the rest is looking good. Send. So with that, our clearance request is on the way. While we're waiting for the clearance to arrive, let's check on our boarding. It's completed. Nice. Well then, let's say hello to our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of Norwegian Air Shuttle. Welcome aboard our Boeing 737-800 on our flight to Haugesund. Today's flight time will be 45 minutes, expecting a mostly smooth flight at an altitude of 28,000 feet. For the time being, sit back, relax, and get yourself comfortable, and we'll get back to you with any update when we start the approach into Haugesund. For now, we're just finishing up the last paperwork, so just get yourself comfortable, and we will get back to you as soon as we start our approach. Thank you for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. So, passengers are dealt with. Ground flight deck. So, you can remove all the ground equipment. We're ready to go up here, and we'll get back to you momentarily. Alright, so let's see. Request status is being processed, and then here's our clearance. So that stuff can go. So let's see, clear to Haugesund via ATLAB 5 Alpha departure, and that's ATLAB 5 Alpha over here. Maintain 7000, which is set once and set twice. So departure on 118.48. I am going to pre-select that over here just as a reminder, and squawk 7637. So, expect runway 1 left, and 1 left is in here. Alright, Wilco. Accepting, and that's looking good. They didn't send us a ground frequency, so I am just going to switch over to the west ground over here, and that's probably all we need to do. Okay, so since boarding is complete, let's go ahead and start with our load sheet. So the final zero fuel weight is 58.4, which we got, and that leads us to 63.7, which is checked in here as well. Alright then, let's go for the performance. Runway 1 left is going to be in use. I do quickly want to see if we got any intersection figures. Alpha 3 would be nice. And in here there is 1 left, Alpha 3, 2696. Like that. Import, engine anti-ice is not needed today. Calculate. Takeoff 2, 41. So takeoff 2 and 41 degrees. 86.3 versus 86.3. Takeoff flaps 5, 24.6 is the CG. And the speed's 140, 140, 144. Those all match. And here we go. There's 144. Trim 5.3 matches the EFB. And I'm throwing my keyboard around. Here we go, 5.3 is set. Beautiful. So with that, we've done everything we have to do. So let's do the safety inspection checklist and before start checklist. Down to the line, please. Services and shocks checked, maintenance status checked, batteries on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, ship's library checked, IRS mode selectors nav, gear pins 1 to 3 removed, probe covers 1 to 3, 4, 5 removed, light test checked, oxygen chest 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer and display switches, normal and auto, fuel 5.3 required, 5.3 on board and 4 pumps on, cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights on, fast modes on, window heat on, air compress, pack throttle bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector, auto, instruments cross-checked, auto brakes, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brake, down to 10, park and brake set, start from cutout switch is normal, wheel fire warning checked, radius, radar and transponder, set and standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing disgusting, PA complete, FMC CDU set, M1 and IS box, automatic, reduce 22K, 40, 40, 44 set, stop trim, 5.3 set, start levers idly 10, flight control to go, no, sorry, start levers cut off, stop trim cutout switch is normal, wheel fire warning checked. We have that stuff. Yeah, so automatic reduce 22K, 40, 40, 44 set, stop trim 5.3 set, performance weight balance, sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight witness cockpit or locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete. God damn it, long checklist. Alright, so all that stuff is looking good, then let's go ahead and call for clearance. Let's see, the call sign is 9 Bravo Hotel. Got him on ground, North 9 Bravo Hotel, request pushback and startup.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, pushback and startup approved. Face south.
Pushback and startup approved, facing south, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Before start checklist below the line, air compacts off, anti-collision light on, park and brake set, transponder out off, before start checklist complete. So, ground flight deck, pushback and startup are approved, facing south, and we do not need de-icing. Yeah, lovely. Facing south is of course not included in there. Tell you what, we'll do straight position 1 then. Alright, so release parking brake. And the parking brake is released. Roger, start the pushback, stand by for engines. And tell you what, you can actually start the engines straight away. Okay, sequence 2 then 1, beginning with number 2 now. Engine 2 start. And 2. Oil pressure. And 1. Valves are operating. So the first click was the voice recorder switch, and the second is the starter. Starter cutout, monitor 2, starting 1. Clear 1. And the pushback is completed, set parking brakes. Parking brake set. So we got N2. Oil pressure, N1. Valves operating, going bright then off. Ground flight deck, we have 2 good engine starts. Please prepare the airplane for taxi, and I see you with a clear signal in front. Bye bye. Alright, they are disconnecting. No anti-ice needed. So, ready for flight controls? Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudders. Full left. Full right. And neutral. Before taxi checklist. And there's the clear signal. Generators on, APU off, start resist continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto bleeds on, isolation valve, auto flaps, 5 required, 5 selected, and a green light. Stop trim, 5.3 required set, start levers idly turned, flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, request taxi.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, runway 1 left taxi via Delta Golf November Alpha 1.
Taxi runway 1 left via Delta Golf November Alpha 1 Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Alright, Delta Golf November is the first, and down to Alpha 1. Okay, nice. So we are clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Brakes off, config. It's looking good. Let's go. So, since there is nobody on that stand over there, we might as well just cut that way short a bit. So, number 1, we are going to get clear of the apron area, and as soon as we are clear, we can then run the checklist. We are still kind of on the apron here, so let's limit our speed to 15 knots. This is Golf now, and then we turn left onto November. Getting a little fast, 17. Should be 15 on the apron. Here we go. Beautiful scenery. I really love flying in the Nordics, especially now in winter time, because there are so many great sceneries available, with sceneries like Oslo by Yoke over here, our destination Haugesund by Ini Builds as well. Very much recommended. And we now have two great aircraft for it as well, with the Phoenix A320 series for Scandinavian, and then the PMDG 738s for Norwegian. Alright then, reaching November, so we are going to turn left over here, speed back down to 10 knots for that turn. So here we are, left, southbound, and we calculated Alpha 3, so let's see if we can take that. In the meantime though, before takeoff checklist down to the line. Config is checked, flaps 5, green light, stop trim 5.3 set, takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff, runway 01 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, takeoff speed 140, 140, 144, and that's with the PAX auto bleeds on and engine anti-ice off. Sit straight out left turn, contact departure when advised on 118.48, and we've got nothing special on non-standard. Engine out straight out 25 miles to pick up the holding in 5,000. Any questions? Nope. Excellent. Cabin. Nordic 9R Bravo Hotel is able for intersection Alpha 3. Let's see if the AI understands it. Because Alpha 3 would be right over here.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, not clear what you said. Say again.
Okay. Disregard. It would probably have worked if I had said request intersection. Alright. Simple double click is going to do there. Alright, good. Then it's going to be all the way straight to the full length for runway 1 left. And I am of course going to write something up on the topic, because in the real world you don't usually request an intersection, you just tell them you're able for it, and then ATC decides whether it makes sense to give you that intersection or not. Alright, very light aircraft today. Look at how easily it's taxiing at 30 knots. The taxiways are actually pretty clear of snow, so we don't need to worry about any of that. Temperature -1, okay. Cold temperature correction basically at 10%. MSA 39, we don't have any altitude constraints below that, and above the corrected MSA we don't need to correct either.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, contact tower on 118.305.
118.305, Nordic 9R Bravo Hotel. Gardermoen Tower, Nordic 9R Bravo Hotel, ready for departure.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, Gardermoen Tower, runway 01 left, winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 01 left, cleared for takeoff, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Alright, cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Approaching 01 left.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP set, transponder Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. You ready? Then let's go for a rolling takeoff. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Checked. Gear up. Down there.
Nordic 9 Bravo
Back
Hotel,
up.
contact departure on 118.48.
11848, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Flaps 1. Speed check. Flaps 1. Oslo departure, good afternoon, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, passing 2300, climbing 70. Flaps up. Speed check.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, Oslo departure identified. Climb flight level 070.
Climbing flight level 70, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Alright, engine anti-ice on.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, climb flight level 210.
Climbing flight level 210, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Set, 210 checked, and flaps up, no lights. VNAV, set standard. Start a cross check, passing flight level 45 now.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, contact Polaris Control on 118.88.
118.88, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Polaris Control, good afternoon, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, passing flight level 55, climbing flight level 210.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, Polaris Control identified. Welcome Oslo QNH 1025.
QNH 1025, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Alright, I'm just flying slightly through the flight director here, something that we used to do rather often in the real world as well. The flight director can sometimes just lag a little bit behind, but you can see it's following straight away, because it recognized like, hey, that guy isn't doing some total nonsense here. And so, just like that, we are getting a good result here. Alright, so after takeoff checklist please. And engine anti-ice off. So, air cannon press is now at 3.6 climbing set. Altimeters, standard, flight level 89 now.
Nordic 9 Bravo
Complete.
Hotel, climb flight level 260.
Climbing flight level 260, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Set. 260 tracked, VNAV. Altimeters, passing flight level 100, climbing flight level 260, 10 checks. Fuel balanced, 4 pumps on, lights. Off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.0 climbing set. We'll keep the fast modes on, but cabin crew is already released. Recall is checked and we'll log onto data link in a moment, and that's our 10 checks completed. I'll just quickly finish flying the acceleration over here, and once we've done that, then we can turn the autopilot on and start doing some of the other piloting stuff. Piloting is fun, but the job isn't like fun only. Alright. And here we go. Command A. Okay, cool. So I think it's going to stay smooth. Let's release our passengers. Overlight can go off as well, and then we can just quickly log on the data link. So ATC log on status. Let's see what their designator is. Enor. Okay, so call sign is 9 Bravo Hotel from Oslo to Haugesund, and send that. So, lock on request sent, everything looking good, and with that we are nicely up and on the way. The top of climb and top of descent are rather close to one another. Let's try to make sure we get the descent winds in before we actually reach that. So let's go descent forecast request. It's in progress now. Let's see if there is any good shortcut here. Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, any chance to proceed direct Ulvos? ATC call. Lock on accepted. Thank you, direct to Ulvos, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Ulvos. That's looking good. Execute. LNAV available. LNAV. So, descent forecast uplink ready. Let's load that. Execute, and there is another ATC call. Climb maintain level 280. Wilco. Accepting. Sent. Set. Flight level 280 checked. VNAV. That's 280 once, twice, and 3 times. And we are monitoring 1 to 1.5. Alright, beautiful. Then we got all that good stuff done. So, as we are already nearing our top of descent, let's go ahead and request the destination ATIS already. Data link ATS ATIS ENHG. Send. And just to be sure that I'm not entering nonsense here. Hotel Delta. Okay. Interesting. Now it doesn't let me send that. ENHD? Okay, we'll see. If we're not getting the data link ATIS, then we are just going to do it by voice. Oh, actually it sent it. So there's just a little bug involved with the send button actually not showing. Okay, so be it. Can live with that. Ding dong. Man, it's busy. Okay, here we go. Haugesund. Information. Quebec. Arriving and departing runway 13, wind 185 at 9, temperature 5, dew point 1, QNH 1021. Okay, so QNH 1021 pre-selected on this side and on that side. Here we go. Okay, cool. And transition level is 80. Alright, that's it. Looking good. Flight level 80 is in there. 1021. Like that. Fixed rings runway 13 slash let's see, I think 90 no slash 82 slash 10 and slash 4. So 250 below 100 like that. Maybe a little bit faster as well, just to be sure. What's our arrival time? 13:09, and the schedule is 13:15. No, then we don't need to fly faster. Good, then we can just keep this. Alright, easy going. And even more comm messages. Yeah, should all be closed now. Good, thank you. Okay, nice. Then let's find the arrival charts. So it's Ulvos 1 uniform arrival most likely, so this one. The approach will be an ILS runway 13, and we take the airport chart at the parking stands. So, plan mode, and that's approaching over here. Vertical speed. So, we're going from Ulvos above flight level 100 to waypoint 461 above flight level 80, and that matches the chart, and then from there to azimuth above 4000, which we got down here as well. That's 1000 to go. Checked. Okay, great. So from there we are flying on to the ILS runway 13, coming in from azimuth towards Berfsa, maximum 230 knots, and then from there onto the final Upmar in 2000, and we got Berfsa maximum 230, and then Upmar in 2000, 3-degree glide, which matches the chart down to the minimum of 262, for which we need no cold temperature correction today. So let's dial that stuff down. (262), and we have Altiquire, VNAV. Okay, cool. So 262 is in here, and the go around straight at 3 miles, and then to Rivnu on the Kilo Romeo Mike radial 132. So Kilo Romeo Mike, Karmoy is on 1515. Like that, and the ILS is 109.1. ATC call. Expect ramp 2 stand 5. Alright, that's checked. So, Kilo Romeo Mike 3 and then 132 inbound Rivnu, climbing 2,500, and 2,500 is correct. The MSA in that sector, 4,200. But if they file that, then it is going to be safe. Alright. That looks good, and that's exactly what we got down here as well. Beautiful, so with that we've set all of that stuff up, then we know that the arrival is going to be correct. Let's go ahead and do some landing calculations here. Performance, landing en route, runway 13, import, flaps 30, auto brake 3, VRF edition 5, doesn't sound too bad. And from the available 2062 we need 1588. Let's see if there's anything we can gain from taking a higher brake setting. 13, Charlie. Oh, I'm kind of thinking if we go flaps 40 we might be able to vacate on Charlie. Let's calculate that. Yeah, 1432 should be possible. Alright, then let's do that. Auto brakes 3 and that's 40. Good. Course is 132, I think. (133), okay. Set on this side and set on this side. Alright, I like it. Then let's just copy paste the minimum over to the other side. Like that. And you go back on the terrain, please. T-cars can also go below. Alright, lovely. Everything done. Well then, let's go for the approach briefing, please. So, threats for the arrival. Well, let's be honest over here. Terrain is a little one, because there is some on our arrival area, but to mitigate against that, we'll be using the terrain display on your side, and that's it. Now for the arrival, we are going to follow the Ulvos 1 uniform arrival, leading us in over the hills with a couple altitude constraints down into the final, which is what we got in the box as well. There's 250 below 100, there's the forecast, there's the fixed wings around runway 13, 10 miles, 4 miles, and we got Ulvos, couple restrictions onto the final approach. The approach is an ILS approach runway 13 on a chart 11-1 from the 21st of March 25. Frequency 1091 is active and checked in here as well. Courses 133, all checked as well. Minimum 262 is up here. Go around straight at 2,500, and that's mostly it. Well, apart from that, I don't really have anything. So let's see. Arrival fuel 3.4, minimum is 2.9. That gives us about 10 minutes extra, or a second approach. Well, not really. So just 10 minutes extra, no second approach there. And we're burning 400, so that's a landing weight of 61.8. We are going to do a flap 40 landing, so that's copy-pasted, and that's it. Alright, any questions or suggestions on the briefing? No? Perfect. Then let's do the descent checklist. Pressurization, land alt 50, any eyes off, approach main fuel disgusting, ES and outbox checked and set, approach check is complete. So, descent check is complete. 9 miles to run to the top of descent, let's go ahead and ask. Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, ready for descent.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, cleared Ulvio 1 uniform into Karmoy. When you're ready, descend, flight level 190.
Cleared Ulvos 1 uniform arrival, when ready descend flight level 190, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Set, 190 checked. He said when ready, then we can
Nordic
just...
9 Bravo Hotel, descend flight level 190.
Descending now, flight level 190, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Alright, 4 miles, well, I don't care. Alternate event, down we go. Okay, then I'm off the radios for a quick call to our passengers. Your ATC. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, your captain with the promised update on our arrival into our destination. We now have a remaining flight time of approximately 20 minutes. The weather over there currently clear skies, a temperature of +5 degrees. Thank you very much for choosing to fly with Norwegian today. We hope you enjoyed the flight as much as we did, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board of a future service. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wish you a nice and safe onwards journey. Descending flight level 080 Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Set. Flight level 80 checked. ATC call. Descent started, CPDLC service terminated, and lock off. Okay. So, not that much that we had to do today on CPDLC, but that's fine. It exists, but if there is as little happening on the frequency as there is right now, then why would you force someone to use it if you can just do things by voice as well? Overall, CPDLC is a system that has been invented for those hugely busy airspaces, like, you know, everything in Germany, in the UK. I was about to say in the US, but they don't actually use it yet, so I do think they have a couple trials going on, but it's kind of interesting that normally the US is always the country that leads everything in terms of aviation, but with CPDLC, they are hugely behind pretty much the rest of the world. I mean, every single country in Africa can use it. So I would kind of hope that they improve the CPDLC coverage in the United States as well. It would be really helpful, especially in those places where there is so much going on the radio. Think the area around New York, or basically everything from Boston down to Washington. And then south of that, Florida is again super busy as well. The entire Las Vegas area, of course. So that's really all stuff where CPDLC could tremendously benefit the flight safety in the United States, but I'm sure they will eventually get there as well. So, I have once again been talking for almost an hour over here. Allow me a moment to catch a drink. Mara, are you here? Let's see if we can actually get a cabin crew together as well.
Yes, Captain, I am here.
Thank you. Could we get some tea, please?
Acknowledged, Captain. I will arrange for tea.
Lovely. Something tells me we were talking to our first officer here and not to our cabin crew, but let's see. Maybe they are going to come back with something. So, flying for Norwegian, you are going to be doing sectors like these a lot. And if you do happen to catch one of those days where you are doing flights like these, it's often going to be 6 sectors on a single day. So you would be flying there, back to Oslo, then somewhere else, back to Oslo, and somewhere else, and back to Oslo. Not exactly the type of operation that I want to be doing any longer, because with weather like today, it's super fun, but...
Just following up on our earlier conversation about the narrative, I think we could incorporate some fun anecdotes from our travels, or maybe even a little trivia about Norway to keep things engaging for the passengers. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a good idea, but do allow them a little bit of time to rest on our flights as well, please.
Dear guests, the lavatories are now available and you may use approved electronic devices in flight mode. Cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you for your attention.
Well, I suppose that was an easy call for them to make. Beautiful looking livery. Hughes are doing awesome jobs on theirs. Not just them, of course, there are so many other great painters as well, but... you know, superb livery. Absolutely superb livery. Alright then, enough screenshots taken, let's go back and look at that flight deck and be flying a little. I promised you that I would show you a little bit of the stuff that we would do when flying into a new airport. You've basically seen already that by just reading those arrival charts, you've covered most of it. This one isn't especially complicated, there isn't even an airport briefing available. So all that we got over here on the main chart is that caution. Wind shear and turbulence may occur on short final runway 13, especially with winds between 170 and 270 above 25 knots. Now that one is an interesting one down here. Deers may occur close to and on the airport. It's a nice info to have. The wind shear most definitely. We can, just by looking at the chart, we can kind of see where that comes from as well. The wind is coming from anywhere like down here to up here, so over this terrain, then wind shear can be expected. So that does make sense. And the info with the deers that may occur close to and on the airport, you know, what can you do about it? Just anticipate it and try not to jerk on the controls when you see one coming. If you see any on the runways before you land, just fly go around, come back, but ATC would be checking for them as well. And, well, if you're already on the ground, there's nothing you can do about it. Just keep the airplane on the runway, keep it on the center line. You might just bump a little hole into it, but not much you can do about it. Now, a couple of things that are always good to look at as well are down here, that additional runway information. You can see runway 13 features high-intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, high-intensity approach light system, and then down here we got landing beyond the glide slope, 1,714 meters of usable runway length. Now, runway length today really isn't much of an issue. I mean, we're a more or less empty 737, but it might be if you take a look into some of the other operators flying into here. For example, there is Wizz Air flying the A321 over here from Gdansk in Poland, and they may definitely have an interesting time, especially when they're completely full, like 230 seats or whatever they have. If you are completely full on an arrival like that, yeah, that A321 might have a fun time getting into there. Alright, since weather is no problem at all here, I'll go to the terrain display on my side as well, since we did establish terrain to be a threat earlier on. Also, let's put the VSD up on your side. Here we go.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, contact Solar approach on 118.505.
118.505, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. So, our ATIS is information Quebec. Solar approach, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, flight level 148, descending flight level 80, information Quebec. Right, seatbelts on.
Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel, Solar approach identified. Good afternoon, cleared as mid-transition. Expect the ILS runway 13 approach into Karmoy.
Expecting the ILS runway 13 via Asmit Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Okay, good. For the time being, no further clearance, but then again, level 80 is our limit for Hotel Delta 461 anyway, so that's nothing to worry about. And then we are just continuing
Nordic 9
down
Bravo
on the
Hotel
arrival.
crosses mid at or above altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1021.
Descending 4,000 across Asmit at or above on QNH 1021 Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel. Set, 4,000 checked, set QNH. QNH 1021 cross-check, passing 13,300 now. Checked. Okay, then we're waiting for the ILS items. They're still showing 1091 over there. And as soon as we receive the items, then we can do the frisk check, the approach checklist, and then we're already done. Now look at those lovely fjords over here. That's quite the view, isn't it? I could definitely get used to that. That must be so beautiful at these lakes. The same probably goes for everything up here. That must be a fantastic sight in the real world. I mean, you probably grow old of it if you fly these things like every couple of days, but there are some things that are just never growing old on you. And this may probably be one of those. Especially if the weather is good. And I could imagine that there are more than enough days where it isn't. But if it's good, like today, see, our destination's probably somewhere over there. What does the ND say? Yeah. Over there, I guess. That's just looking fantastic, isn't it? Really, really nice. Everywhere around. Alright, altimeters. Passing 102, descending 4000, 10 checks. Fuel is balanced with 4 pumps on, lights on, angular bank 25, air cannon press, 4.2 descending set, fast melts on, recall checked, 21.5 still monitoring, cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, and CPDLC disconnected, 10 checks complete.
Nordic Niner Bravo Hotel, descend altitude 2,000 feet.
Descending altitude 2,000 feet, Nordic Niner Bravo Hotel. Set, 2,000 checked. So 2,000 is really pretty low now. We'll just keep flying on the VNAV path and then we are good to go. The restriction across azimuth at or above 4,000 is still active. And all the rest is looking good. So just waiting to receive the ILS then, probably still a bit far away. And we may not receive it on the other side of the approach, only when we are over here. Sometimes that is a thing in the real world, sometimes, not always. Okay, and as for the preparation for the approach, there isn't much more to say about this. Easy conditions, easy arrival, easy start. As you can see, straightforward. Even though it is a new airport for us. So the island will be Hotel Delta later on, but not receiving it yet. Hopefully once we're on the other side of the extended center line here. So somewhere over there, like 5 miles inbound to azimuth or so. Okay, so in terms of our cabin, there isn't all that much we can do. Let's start with the frisk, except for the idents. So frequencies 109.1 is checked 3 times. Fixed rings, runway 13, 10 miles, 4 miles. Idents, Hotel Delta, to go. Standby instruments, definitely going to be useful. And course is 133. So we're just waiting for the idents and then we can read the approach checklist. But by now we should definitely be close enough that we should receive the idents. I'm actually wondering, could there be anything wrong? Well, let's be better safe than sorry. Route copy. Arrival, Arnav Zulu 13, azimuth transition. And then we can just dig out that chart. So, azimuth, BAFSA, and then we got Atmar in 2000 as final approach fix. We got azimuth, BAFSA, Atmar 2000, 3-degree descent, which checks, go around, or minimum, well, we don't have LPV, so it's going to be 339. Okay, here we go, items received, then we don't need that RNF approach. Okay, that makes our life easier. Approach checklist. Altimeter instruments, cross-checked, approach rates, checked and set, approach checklist complete. So next is probably going to be the tower frequency. And that is going to be 120505. Okay, pre-selected, looking good. Okay, so everything's done, then let's have a little bit of fun. So, manual flight, manual thrust, and recycle the flight directors, please. Here we go. So, flight path vector active. And then speed 250, please. Just gotta love it. That's the kind of weather conditions and the type of airport where there's just nothing happening, where you can absolutely do some raw data flying. If not here, when then? Can you actually say that in English? It does sound a little bit strange. The German variant would definitely be Wenn nicht hier, wann dann. Okay, reaching the decel point, buck up. So, enough arms, even though the flight directors are recycled, that is correct behavior. Because in case of a go-around, the flight directors would come on anyway. With the switches on, no problem whatsoever, but even with the switches off, they could still become available if you press the toga button. The only risk that you're running into then is that the flight directors are actually going to vanish once Alt Acquire would hit. Alright. So let's keep slowing down.
Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel cleared for the ILS runway 13 approach via Asmid.
Cleared ILS 13 Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel. Flaps 1. Speed checked. And flaps 5. Speed checked. So we're cleared for the approach. And here we are, right on the glide slope. That's exactly how we try to do this. So we pretty much have localizer capture. Runway heading 1337.
Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel, contact Carmway Tower on 120.505.
120.505 Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel. Carmway Tower, Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel, established ILS 13. And slightly overshot the turn. So
Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel, Carmway Tower, identified. Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel, Carmway Tower, winds 180 at 8. Runway 13, cleared to land.
Runway 13, cleared to land, Nordic 9er Bravo Hotel. Okay, 180 at 8, so the wind is going to be a little bit from the right hand side, 8 knots, no problem at all. It is within the area where strong turbulence could be expected, but 8 knots, the turbulence was forecast from 25 knots onwards, so that's not going to be a problem. It's actually pretty hard to make out where the airport is in front of us, isn't it? So we do have glide slope capture. Go around altitude 2,500 set. And we're clear to land. Lights are on. Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing. So, since we are flying raw data, let's go ahead and start configuring a bit earlier. Gear down, flaps 15, landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall. Check, speed brake arm, green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 sets, and holding your flaps. Flaps 30, well, flaps 25. Speed check, flaps 25. And flaps 40. Speed check, flaps 40. Complete the landing checklist. Flaps 40, 40, green lights. Hey, don't start climbing. And landing lights on, landing checklist complete. Right, there's our airport. Now it's clearly visible.
1000.
Check. Lost a bit of speed there. That's what happens when you don't have a second pilot. Pilot monitoring is so useful when you're doing manual flight. Alright, here we are, nicely established. Everything looking good. 500, continue.
Approaching minimum.
Oh yeah, looking at those rocks on the right hand side there, I can absolutely see where the turbulence is coming from.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Short runway, let's not flare too far. Speed break up, thrust was normal. 70%, 100 knots. We're missing that exit, no problem. 80 knots. 60 knots.
600 remaining.
And manual brakes.
On runway 13.
There wasn't any note that we can't do a 180 somewhere on that runway, so
Nordic 9
might
Bravo
as well
Hotel,
do it here.
welcome to Karmoy. Taxi to Apron 2 at your discretion. Stay on this frequency.
Taxi apron 2 at our discretion, Nordic 9 Bravo Hotel.
1,600 meters remaining.
Okay, then we're going to vacate on Charlie. Do the after landing items. So no ice or anything, then we can retract the flaps. Trim should be 4 units after landing. Maximum wingspan 36, not a problem. Alright. Starting APU, and we will be parking right over there at the terminal. Which is actually pretty beautifully done. Indie Builds have done a great job on that scenery. Okay, so stand number 4, that looks good for me. Let's see, ramp 4, no follow me needed. Handling by Avinor. Lights off, please. Well, well, that's looking good. Here's the stop line. And stop. Alright, there's 2 blue, 1 red. Engine's dead. And here we are. So please do start the deboarding. And then, both engines below 20%, anti-collision off, transit shutdown checklist. Electrical, Sun APU, fast melts off, ProPeat auto, NES off, voice recorder on, air compacts auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed on, exterior lights, steady and wheel well, start switches auto, auto brake off, speed brake down at 10, flaps up and light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CB in, cockpit door unlocked, and transit shutdown checklist complete. And with that, my friends, welcome to Haugesund. I do hope you enjoyed this one. As always, be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Check out the lovely scenery by Builds. Really gotta say, this one is looking amazing once again. Especially if you go in here. Typical Builds job, really. And here's our flight back to Oslo already preparing. So I'd say we are not going to lose any time there and start getting ready for our way back home. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe. And if you do love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again right on the next one.